Hi everyone, this is Sean. Press the like button if you like this video or you think you're gonna like it. Even if you're not gonna watch the whole video, please give me a like. Videos like this video tends to not make the dad YouTube happy because it involves weapons. And I really can't start my discussion on it before getting slapped until 30 seconds is up. Okay, we're going to talk about firearms. How do you buy a firearm legally in California, specifically a handgun? So as I film this video, we are nearing the end of April of 2022. And some people have never bought a firearm. They're new to it. Maybe they want to work private security, they want to work private investigations. They're in California and they hear on the news, they hear on social media that this is an anti-gun state. I don't even know why I just mentioned that word. The YouTube algorithm doesn't like when I mention that also. Anyhow, as you can see, I'm being very cautious on what I'm saying. So anyhow, a lot of you guys that are watching this channel, you already have a firearm, but there's somebody out there that hasn't not yet bought one, and I just want to talk to you about my experience, my understanding of the law. This is not legal advice. It's not professional advice. So I just came back from the FFL, the gun store, okay, and I picked me up my Glock 19 Gen 5. This is an MOS version. What that means is because it's MOS, I'm able to mount an optic, a red dot optic right here without having to send the slide off to a third-party vendor. It just makes things a lot easier. But I'll tell you this, if you're in California, you cannot buy this gun because this gun is considered off roster. You can buy a Glock 19 Gen 1, 2, or 3, but you cannot buy a Glock 19 Gen 4 or 5, which this is, or a Glock Gen 5 MOS. This is a Glock 5 Gen MOS, because the generation 4 or 5 is not on the handgun roster. So in California, if a gun is not on the handgun roster, you can't purchase it. And I'll leave a link in the description for the California Department of Justice handgun roster. If the gun that you want is on the roster, then you can buy it. This is typically a lot of older guns. You guys, rarely do they add a new gun on the roster. It makes no difference because this Glock Gen 5 is very similar to the Gen 3. You have the grip that's a little bit different. The angle of the backstrap is a little bit different. The grip is a little bit narrow, and I believe that this has a double recoil spring. The Generation 3 only has a single recoil spring. Basically, you'll shoot a little bit flatter with this setup right here. By saying flat, I'm saying that the muzzle will tend to stay a lot more flat the more it rises up and down, whether it's human error or because of the design of the pistol. Having that second, third, or any other follow-up shot is going to be a little bit more difficult. But obviously, if you have proper instruction and you use the right techniques, even with the Gen 3, you can be very, very fast with it. Okay. So make sure that you check the handgun roster. Now, there are some exemptions though. Now, if you're in law enforcement, that's an easy exemption. And I just think that the exemption, this whole thing on handgun rosters and exemptions, I think it's just a crock of you know what. But hey, that's politics, guys. If when you go out there and vote for Democrat, you're voting for stuff like this, for a handgun roster. Basically, if a handgun is on the handgun roster, that means it's a safe gun. I'm not kidding, you guys. It's been drop tested and it's considered safe. So this Gen 5 is considered an unsafe handgun because it's not on the roster. Which, again, it's politics. This is a crock of you know what. I had to wait 10 days. So actually 11 days ago, because they were closed on Sundays, I went in there, did the paperwork, and I'll talk about the paperwork. So in California, you have what's called a cool-off period of 10 days. What that means is, that's what it means, is you have to cool off. It's so stupid, so ridiculous, this cool-off period. So if I was pissed off at somebody, The theory is that, and I wanted to do damage to them with a firearm. The theory is that 10 days will give me enough cool-off period. That's enough time for me to make a decision against this evil intent that I might have, which is, again, a total crock of you-know-what. The type of documents that I had to present is as follows. You need to prove or show your proof of identification. So what I had to show was my California driver's license card. That counts. I had to show my birth certificate, and I think if you have a passport, that would replace the birth certificate. So I show my birth certificate, and I had to show another type of proof of residence. So I can use the address on my California ID as residence, but I need something else. A utility bill, a public utility bill would work. Instead of that, I used my California vehicle registration, so that worked. You have to show them also, let's see, a firearm safety card. I think it's called an FSC card. You basically have to take a course, a small course. A lot of these gun stores, they have these videos that you can watch, and then you complete the test. After that, you get a firearm safety certificate. After showing that you're able to manipulate the weapon and obviously in a safe manner, and then pass this test. But if you're a private security officer and you have an exposed firearm permit, you don't have to show this certificate. You just have to show your firearm certificate, and then you won't have your firearm permit, and you won't have to show that safety certificate. Let me think of what else I have to do. And I have to fill out the ATF form. Okay, that was really quick. It only took me about 7 minutes long. Yeah, about 7 minutes. You just have to answer yes or no to criminal convictions, whether you're addicted to drugs, and then that's it. They give you a date to come back in 10 days. If you pass the background check, then you could come back in 10 days and pick up your firearm, and then you're good to go. The process is really easy, you guys. If you're not in California and you're planning on coming over here, don't get intimidated by the process. It does kind of suck because you're limited to the type of weapons that you can carry. You know, the newest guns out there, I think they're the SIG 320s. Guys, if I'm butchering that model, let me know. Your Smith & Wesson M&P Series 2.0, that type of handgun, I don't have that exact gun, but it's similar along the lines of that model. You can't have that in California as well. Those Staccato Ps, Staccato C duos that are coming out, that's basically a fancy name for a double stack 1911. Well, that's the manufacturer's name. It's a double stack 1911. You can't buy that in California unless you have some type of exemption. Private security is not an exemption in order to buy an off-roster gun. Now, my understanding that if you do this private party, so if somebody in another state is willing to sell you, actually, you guys, I don't want to give you a definite answer. I don't know if it's a private party in California or private party in another state. I want to say a private party in California. If they're willing to sell you an off-roster handgun, I believe you can buy it from them. That's one of the exemptions. Now, I don't know for sure. Now, private party basically means a transaction, a firearms transaction that's not the dealer. Make sure that you guys do your due diligence, do your own research on how to legally purchase a firearm. If you guys have any other questions, let me know, you guys. And I'm looking forward to the dialogue. If you had to go through a different procedure or you have a different perspective, I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. You guys all take care and be safe.